everyone, Kelly Dean Allen here with you again. So then, one thing that I can say with some small degree of certainty is that us classic rocker types generally don't have much time for country music, myself included. However, another thing that I can say with some degree of certainty is that we all have a couple of country tracks where we go, but yeah, I like that one. We all have them, again, myself included. This track that we'll be looking at today is one of those tracks for me. What a Crying Shame by the Mavericks. And to be fair, it's not the only song of theirs that I like. Something about that Tex-Mex alt-country sound of theirs that definitely appeals to me. Regardless, enough chit-chat. Let's close in here a little bit, have a look at how to play What a Crying Shame by the Mavericks. All right then, the Mavericks and What a Crying Shame. We are in standard tuning for this tutorial. This one starts like this, with a nice telly twang on our guitar here for this one. Goes something like this. And that leads into the first verse. Over top of that is another guitar kind of playing the same melody but an octave higher, right? Right there. So we're on the 10th fret of the A string. We're going to hit that twice, and then we're going to do a hammer on from 7 to 9 of the D down to 7 of the G. Right? And then we're going to hit that note again, hammer on to 9 back to 7. Right? And then finish with this. So 10 off to 9, back to 10 of the D, down to the 7 of the G again, and then string skip up to the 10 of the A. Right, and repeat. Right, over top of this. So what we're doing here is we're downstroking this G chord 2 or 3 times, right? And then we're into that lick. So we're going to grab the single note on the 3rd fret of the low E, hammer on open A onto 2, and then catch the open D, open G together. Kind of like that. Right? Then we're going to hammer on open D onto the 2nd fret, back off to open, and then drop right into a D chord. Right? Finish the riff with this. So we're going to drop into kind of a C add 9 here. We don't really need this note down here, but we're kind of keeping it planted throughout. We're going to drop on the 3rd fret of the A string. We're going to mute out the D string, right? So we're going to catch the open G along with these notes. We're going to go 3, 2, 3. Kind of like that, right? That D string is muted out. And then you're going to grab the open D to finish. Before dropping right back into G, starting the whole thing over again. And it's almost all downstrokes, right? So you repeat that 4 times at the beginning, and then we drop into the first verse. Fun thing about this one is the verse and the chorus, you're playing the exact same thing. They're just singing a different melody over the exact same chord progression, and it's dead simple. It's a bar of G, half a bar of D, half a bar of C add 9. So it's a C chord with the 3rd fret of the B string, right? Kind of like that, right? You're just going to repeat it all throughout the verses and all throughout the chorus. G, D, C add 9, G. Now that's the acoustic guitars. Now the electric guitars are playing the same chords, but they're kind of just chugging them. Kind of like that, right? And that leads into the chorus, and like I said, the chorus is the exact same thing. Right into the next verse, right? Now the electric guitars are doing something, they're playing the same chords, but they're doing this, right? that right there. A little tricky to play this. We're starting with G, same chords, just on the top 3 strings now though, right? So we're going to hit open G, and then we're just going to ride up the top 3 strings twice. And then back to the high E, right? So 1 bar of that, half a bar of D, just hit that G string and then ride up the top 3 strings, and then off to just the 3rd fret of the B string along with the open G, open E. Right, and that's a little bit tricky to get your finger in there and free up those open strings, right? And then repeat. And then right at the end you just drop into a little G chord there, just on the top 3 strings, lightly strum it as it leads into the 2nd verse. And the 2nd verse, same as first, right? D, C, and 9, right? Those same 3 chords again, and then it just continues right on into the chorus. Coming out of the chorus, we're going to have a bit of a key change to A, and then a guitar solo. The guitar solo is pretty much all octaves, right? On the A and the G string. So we're going to start with an A power chord here. You're going to hit that like 4 or 5 times, right? And then we're going to drop into that. So we're kind of muting out the D string with the pad of our index here. We're on 2 and 4 of the A and the G. And then you're just going to move that up 2 spots to 4 and 6. Kind of like that, right? Then you're going to back it up 1 spot and do the same thing, moving into 5-7 into 7-9. Right, sliding from 5-7 into 7-9. Right, and then we're going to start it all over again, back to A. But then we're going to finish with this. Right into another chorus, right? So coming off that A the 2nd time, moving it up 2 spots, right? We're going to go 3, 2, open, dragging your pinky along with it, right? And then drop into G, 3rd fret of the low E, 5th fret of the D. Kind of like that. When you're in A, you're not really playing octaves, you're just hitting the A power chord. Right? And then up to the A and G string again, 5 and 7. And you're just going to back it up 2 spots, back it up 1 spot, then off to A again, and then drop into the G cowboy chord for the chorus. Double hits. Right? And right into the next chorus. So that is the solo. So let's take it from the top. Into the chorus again, right? One little tiny lick. That chorus is just going to continue until the end. One tiny little lick that I forgot to mention in the middle of the 2nd verse. He plays that right there. Just a little lick that he throws in there, right in the middle of the 2nd verse. Just pulling off 3 off to 2 of the high E, and then grabbing the 3 of the B, and then just rolling that down, covering the 3 of the high E along with it, and catching it on the upstroke. Just like that, right? And that is it. That is pretty much how you play What a Crying Shame by the Mavericks. Certainly hope you enjoyed that, found it helpful. If you did, please hit that like button right down there. Maybe drop me a subscribe if you haven't done that already, as that'd be very kind. Hope you're well out there, and we'll see you next time, yeah? Cheers.